Everyone, Aaron Heller along with Simi Rieger welcome you to Nesher Arena just outside Haifa, our first broadcast of this season. The regular season gets underway next week, but tonight we have a preliminary matchup for the EuroChallenge Cup, Simi. Maccabi Haifa against Paris Levallois. Good to have you back after all this time. Good to be back here broadcasting the Haifa games.
Yeah, you know, it's nice trying to find this place. I've only been here 43 years, and it's the first time in Nesher, but it's a nice gym.
Well, let's go. We have a lot to bring you up to speed on. First of all, we'll give you your starting lineup there. The man with the ball right there, Sylvan Landesberg. Keep your eye for them, number 15, and he buries the three for Haifa. He's starting out there with Derek Lowe, Yoni Neer, Larrya O'Bannon, and Marco Killingsworth. A brand new team for Haifa. We're going to have to get used to those names. And they're playing against Paris Levallois, a good team there. Albisi out there with Somerville, Noel, the big guy down there, Marcellus Somerville going to work. And that is Lamont Hamilton to round out the starting five for Paris.
Yeah, they seem like a very tall, strong, physical team. Hamilton played at St. John's for Norm Roberts, and you're playing in the Big East, so he's already doing. O'Bannon played at Louisville.
Yeah, Maccabi Haifa, a deep team, and like we said, a brand new team. Not a single player left over from a year ago, and we're going to take our time to get used to those new players. The guy who made his move to the hoop now, Yoni Neer, got called for the travel, played a year ago with Holland. Good player.
Yeah.
David Noel with the turnaround, no good.
Noel, a kid that grew up, played at North Carolina for Coach Williams.
And played a year in the NBA for the Milwaukee Bucks as well. Yoni Neer there off the pass from Lowe. Nice ball movement. There's O'Bannon with the triple. No good. And the rebound there, Marcellus Somerville.
Somerville from the University of Bradley.
So far, lots of up and down action. Not a lot of points.
Actually, Bradley University. We see O'Bannon take back on defense.
Derek Lowe bringing the ball in. He's out of Hawaii. Another new player here. Someone who might be familiar with is the leader of this team. Oh, and look at that move over there. Sylvan Landesberg, he's been the hot name in this offseason. His mother, or his father actually, Jewish, so he's here as an Israeli, playing under the Israeli slot, but he's a guy everybody's been talking about this offseason, Simi.
Okay. It's Derek Lowe, right, number 4?
Sylvan Landesberg, number 15, 20-year-old kid.
Yeah, he's out of
Virginia.
Virginia. Played in the ACC for a couple of years. Had to leave a little early. Very, very good player.
And he's got the first 6 points of this game. He also was in the Sacramento Kings camp this summer, so got to know a lot about Israel from Omri Caspi over there.
And we saw Mr. Roberts.
The dunk there, Lamont Hamilton.
Hamilton, I'm sorry.
Big guy there, number 11.
Roberts was his coach. You'll excuse me. I'll be okay someday.
We're getting used, just as you are, to all of these players there. The starting team for Paris: Somerville, Albisi, Noel, Aka, and Hamilton. Yoni Neer down low. Nice move, doesn't get the roll. And there's Albisi leading the French attack. Way out there in the corner. Nice look down there to Somerville. In and out. Tough rims. And a rebound by Landesberg. Marco Killingsworth.
Nice pass. Good look by Lowe. Down at Killingsworth, beat the defense back. Nice run for him, huh?
Looking good there for the brand new player for Haifa, Marco Killingsworth. They know him well here because he was a killer for Netanya a year ago in beating this team. Aka from 3 hits the front rim, and there is Marco with the rebound. Number 13, Larrya O'Bannon. And there is Sylvan Landesberg. Pulls up again, in and out. Pulled the trigger on that one. He is not shy of letting loose on that ball.
I was just going to say he's not bashful. You're right. Took the words out of my mouth.
20-year-old kid. He's too young to be bashful. Somerville with the fake. Noel, nice ball movement. There's Aka, stripped, but recovers. Can't get the roll. Shooting percentage, abysmal for both teams.
It seems like they're hard rims here.
Yeah. There's Lowe, pulls up for the triple. Not that rim, Simi.
Yeah.
Buries that. Tickled the twine, and Derek Lowe with the triple.
Lowe out of Washington State. Probably played for the same coach that Landsberg played for. Because 2 years ago he went to
Basically with the move.
Virginia.
Somerville.
Oh,
Rather Noel gets fouled. Derek Lowe, originally from Honolulu, Hawaii, played in Washington State University, a 6'2" shooting guard. And he gets the call from new head coach Elad Hassin tonight as a starter. Of course, Elad Hassin, the only layover from this team a year ago when he was the assistant coach, promoted in the offseason. One among the big moves that Maccabi Haifa has made in a brand new look team here, and a new arena as well, Simi. Romema getting renovated this year. Will eventually have 5,000 seats.
Turning it into 5,000 seats,
yeah.
which is, and also upgrading it. It's very important. The locker rooms, the seats, everything.
So this season they'll be playing here at Nesher Arena. Can only seat about 1,500 people, but as you can see, the Green Apes are there. And Marco Killingsworth coming up short. Yoni Neer gets called for the push-off over the top.
It's true, yeah. That's a little out of
Somerville.
Killingsworth range, Aaron. I think, you know, he should take a step in on that. They don't need that from him. They need him to take care of, he's a lefty. It's tough to guard a lefty under the bucket.
Stepped out of bounds, and Haifa has the ball. We're almost halfway through this first quarter. 11-5 for Haifa, as Larry O'Bannon just strides by us here, number 13 for Haifa. Another one of those new faces. Played a year ago for Rishon LeZion. He's a very, very good player, and he's played very well against Haifa in recent years.
Yeah, right. I think he played the last 2 years for Rishon.
Indeed.
He's a tough kid. Went to played for Rick Pitino at Louisville. Oh.
And Marco can't put it back. Both teams struggling. Haifa has a 7-point lead, but they're going to need 13 points to move on. This is a home and away series qualifier for the EuroChallenge function. It's the third highest level in Europe. And there's David Knoll showing you his NBA skills, taking it to the hole.
That's North Carolina talking.
Landesberg with the dish. Cannot connect to Killingsworth.
Got to play under control. Got to know your players.
A lot of news in the offseason for Maccabi Haifa. And the big news is the first game they had so far was actually overseas against the New Jersey Nets. First time in the history of this club that they play against an NBA team. They lost 108-70, but the score less important as the experience. I mean,
But at halftime it was pretty close.
Yeah.
They just ran out of gas.
In the preseason challenge against the other teams, they won their first 5 games, were undefeated before dropping their final 2 and heading off to lose to New Jersey. And now, including New Jersey and Paris, lost 4 games in a row. They're hoping to end that slide tonight. Yoni Neer takes a seat. Sasha Bradic in the game, played for Holon a year ago.
Yeah, he got hurt preseason. He's just come back now, so he must be a little rusty.
David Knoll going to work on Marco Killingsworth.
Number 5, Jamal Ball, played for Akron.
Derek Lowe, top of the key. Looking for Landesberg. He's been their main gun. He scored 24 points against the Nets. Running out of time. Shot clock down. Derek Lowe fires and buries.
You know,
there you go, Lowe.
He needs that confidence. He hasn't been making those shots lately from what I understand, and it's very important that he gets that confidence.
And a rebound Lowe. Leading the attack here, looking good so far, is Derek Lowe and his backcourt mate, Sylvan Landesberg.
And now BC picks up the foul, and we see Coach Dupraz going with two small guards to stop the quickness of the Haifa team.
There's Derek Lowe. He scored 9 points in the first matchup between these two teams a couple of weeks ago. And Haifa not in terrible situation. They lost 75-63. They were down by 23 at one point, but they scratched their way back, eventually losing by 12. So tonight, they've got to overcome that deficit at home.
Yeah, and you see a nice move by Bratic, a veteran player, tough guy. Played last year in Toulon. They really like him. He's a leader. He has the experience. He gives the team the confidence. Well, Aaron, all the little things that, you know, young teams need. Because you got Landsberger, who's a young guy. Lowe, who's pretty young. Killingsworth, a couple of years out of school.
Jonathan Larrya in the game for Paris, in place of Andrew Albisi. And there is Sasha Bratic at the line. Barry's in post. A very young team Haifa has. In fact, Sasha Bratic, Simi, the oldest player on this team, 29 years old.
Yep.
The youngest, of course, being Sylvan Landesberg, all of 20. Larrya top of the key on Landesberg. Nice move there by Aka, and he gets it.
You know, you see that the team from Paris is a very athletic team.
Derek Lowe out to Killingsworth to the move, but gets rejected there by Lamont Hamilton. And there's Larrya coast to coast, finishes it.
Hamilton played in middle in the Big East, so he was playing against Villanova, West Virginia, Louisville. He's playing UConn. You know, they were playing tough teams.
And Lamont Hamilton was the best player when these two teams met a while back. He scored 22 points that game. Marcellus Somerville had 16. David Noel, 11. Landesberg all the way finishes it.
You know, what's surprising is that with the athleticism of the French team, the help didn't come.
And now you see the first appearance of Frank Robinson, number 5, in place for Larry O'Bannon. Frank Robinson out of Cal Fullerton averaged almost 16 points and 7 rebounds a game in his collegiate career.
Yeah, and you know, Coach Hassin is using his bench. He's already put in a couple of players, Bratic, and he hasn't hurt the team.
Turnover by Paris.
And that's the help on defense. Nobody's helping them on offense.
18-10 with a minute and a half to go in the first. Lowe, Landesberg, Killingsworth have played the entire quarter, and they've led this team.
You know, to beat a team by 12, Aaron, you have to play. Oh,
and that's the third triple for Derek Lowe. He is 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. 9 points for him, 8 for Landesberg.
It's starting to look like the ocean for him.
And he walked Lamont Hamilton. But how about that backcourt? Number 4 and number 15, they have 17 out of Haifa's 21 points.
You know, I mean, once you make the first couple of them, Aaron, as you know, as being a great shooter.
You know it.
You know, it starts looking like the ocean, like you can't miss. That never happened to me.
Robinson off the mark. Rebound there. Marcellus Somerville.
Yeah, but the whole thing is Robinson has to know he just got in the game.
Look at that strong move to the hole there by number 8, Jonathan Larrya. A 6'6" forward. He's also only 20 years old, very young.
And very athletic, Aaron. It's a pleasure to watch nice athletes.
And here we have our first appearance for the captain, number 11, Avi Ben Shimol, in for Sylvan Landesberg. He's a point guard, played for Maccabi Rishon LeZion a year ago.
And you know, Elad Hassin is doing something very smart with Landsberg. He's pulling him out with a minute with about 49 seconds left in the quarter, and you got 2 or 3 minutes in between quarters, so it's like a 5-minute rest.
Haifa has only 11 players on their roster at this moment because a 12th is out for several months with injury. Derek Glazer was one of the first players they signed out of Arizona State. He has an injury. He's expected to be back in a few months to round out this roster. Killingsworth, nice move there. Finishes with the left hand. That's his strong hand. And the lead in double figures, 23-12. About a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Ball out to Somerville. Recovering. Time running out. 3 on the shot clock. They're going to have to heave it. There is Larrya. Heaves a 3. No good. And that'll do it.
And that's good defense. Sorry.
First quarter's over. In the bag. 23-12 for Haifa, led by Derek Lowe and Sylvan Landesberg.
Yeah, they're tough rims here, and if they keep if Haifa keeps the team from Paris shooting jump shots from outside and the defensive rebound, Aaron, they'll be all right. You know, it has to be a methodical thing when it's 12 points, because all of a sudden you get up 15, you think you're up 15, but you're really only up 2, because you got to win by 13.
So right now they're down by 1, and we'll see if they can keep it going when we come right back for the second quarter. The first quarter of the season is over for Haifa, and they're up by 11, but like we mentioned before the break, really down by 1. They have got to overcome a 12-point deficit, and looking pretty good there. Frank Robinson with the theft and a two-handed jam.
And they love him here. He's a very exciting player, 6'3", you know, out of Cal Fullerton.
Scored 10 points in the first matchup between these two teams as Elad Hassin.
Walking, the referee, good call.
Elad Hassin going for a different look in Paris in the first game. The only 2 starters back are Marco Killingsworth, Sylvan Landesberg. Goes with 3 other starters, and it's paid off. Derek Lowe, who scored 9 points in the opener, has 9 in the first quarter alone in 3 swishes from beyond the 3-point arc. Ben Shimol with the move. Lowe. Robinson pushes off his man, buries the J.
And in front of us sitting is Noel out of University of North Carolina. I'm going to have to give his regards to Coach Stu Robinson and his head coach, Williams.
Lamont Hamilton going to work. Lamont Hamilton at the University of St. John. He was the leading scorer, scored 22 points in Paris a couple weeks back. Robinson wide open, deep three, and drills it. And Haifa up by 16, 30-14, and a lot thanks to their precision from beyond the arc. They have hit 4 from downtown. Aka going all the way, and the foul on Robinson. Late rotation. And Aka gets the roll.
When Bradich came out, when they threw the skip pass, and Bradich came out, he came out with his body high instead of being low, so all he did was run right by him.
Nigel Wyatt, number 12 in the game now. 6'9", big fella. Giving a breather to Marcelo Somerville, who had a double-double in the first matchup, 16 points, 12 rebounds. Haifa's got some height too. You've yet to see it. Robert Rothbert, the tallest player in Israel, 7'2". He'll make an appearance later on. Ben Shimon pulls up, gets it. And Avi Ben Shimon, the captain of this team.
Yeah, Avi grew up in the Maccabi Tel Aviv organization. Didn't get any playing time there left, and he's been around.
Larrya, number 20, and the roll goes in there. Lamont Hamilton cleaning up the mess.
Weak side help came late, and the rebounding just wasn't there.
Robinson, they are on fire from beyond the arc. These guys are scorching. I guess the rims on one side are soft and on the other they're hard, but either way, Haifa up by 17 points. This is just what they needed. Aka go in the hole, gets the roll.
Yeah, but they've been being scored on the last 3 or 4 times with no problem, and that's not a good sign. That means they're getting soft. In the first quarter, they gave up 12 points.
Derek Lowe again, got it again, 4 for 4. Derek Lowe on fire. This is just looks like shooting practice out there. Nobody's putting a hand in their face. I mean, they're getting wide open looks. 18-point lead for Haifa. Ball. Product of Akron. Off the mark. Frank Robinson with the rebound. And here he comes. All the way coast to coast with the right hand. He's fouled.
And there's a timeout. Aaron, there's a timeout from the French team.
And they need some time to talk it over. Down by 18. We'll be right back. So Haifa off to a good start here. 6:40 to go in the half, up by 18. And if they do keep this lead, Sammy, they will be qualifying for the EuroChallenge, which is the third tier of playing in European competition.
Yeah, but it's important that Haifa gets to this so they can start becoming a club that plays every year in Europe. It's important, a tradition that happens. It's something that the Khalil Elyon did, the Khalil did for years. Jerusalem does for years. It's very important to have your players looking forward to playing in the European games.
Of course, Maccabi Tel Aviv is in the EuroLeague, the top level, and Jerusalem recently just qualifying for the ULEB Cup, the second tier level. Haifa hoping to become that team that represents Israel on all levels of European competition. And number 7 is indeed in. There's 7'2" Robert Rothbard, the big man in the middle, in there now, and look at that. Robinson going for it. We're seeing the second unit now there.
Robinson has amazing anticipation. That's the second time. The first time he stripped somebody before and went in for a layup, right?
Indeed.
Was I there?
You were there.
All right.
They were there indeed.
You were there.
Derek Lowe, number 4, the only starter out there now. So the second unit giving a look at it. Jamal Ball pulls up there, takes a shot. And our first quarter stats, Haifa doubling them up here. You see here that indeed Derek Lowe with 12, Frank Robinson with 12, and Sylvan Landesberg with 8. Those guys leading the way for Haifa. Aka and Hamilton with 6 for Paris.
And Robinson just shot an air ball, but
Wyatt throws up a brick. And Ben Shimon coming, looking for the big man, Robert Rothbard.
Hey,
nice
him on
hands.
the run.
Wait to feed the big man. Lots of offense so far, Simi. Not a lot of defense.
Yep. Haifa has to get determined to play that defense. It's very important. Make them a one-shot team. 3 seconds.
Ball. Noel for 3. No good. Rothbard goes up high. And when he goes up, it's real high. 7'2", plus those arms. That's almost 10 feet right there.
He doesn't have to go much higher, and he's talking to God.
Sasha Bradic gets stripped. And they throw the ball out there. David Noel. Rejection by Frank Robinson.
Oh, yes.
Not in my house, he says, and the fans go berserk. Look at the feed there. And the finish. Oh, my, Haifa kicking on all cylinders. Frank Robinson went up the human elevator and sent Noel back in time.
Noel's a player. Don't get it wrong. Noel's a player. That was an amazing offensive play.
Noel trying to come right back. Wyatt wide open. No good. Bradic with the rebound. And Haifa up by 22 points.
And I keep telling you, Aaron, if they keep shooting three-point shots, the French team, Haifa's going to pass them.
Bradic thought about it. Goes all the way. Rothbard. And look at that teardrop by Robert Rothbard. Telling the fans to get it in, and boy are they. 24-point lead for Haifa as Paris takes a timeout, and they need to talk it over as Haifa walking all over them. We'll be right back. And the fans here at the 1,500-seat Nesher Arena going crazy, and for good reason. 46-22, Simi. Haifa destroying Paris.
I thought you were going to say because of the new cheerleaders.
That too. They've changed everything this year. New
Aaron,
cheerleaders as well.
Aaron, if the Haifa team holds the Paris team to 30 points in the first half, they're a winner.
David Noel at the University of North Carolina trying to get something going. Ball fires the three, and their three-point shooting has been awful. Haifa's has been outstanding.
That's what I keep telling you. They take three-point. They're letting the right people take the three-point shots. Obviously, Elad Hassan did some good scouting.
Marco Killingsworth going baseline. He likes doing that, but he gives up the ball. Number 15, Yango has it. There's ball.
And that's the second team foul of the quarter. That's a good foul. They stopped the ball. That was the first turnover in a long time for the Haifa team.
Al-Bisi out to Wyatt, shoots the three ball. No good. Marco Killingsworth grabs the board over his former teammate in Netanya, Robert Rothberg. Rothberg with the teardrop,
nice.
And he got it.
Nice.
And the big man's got 8 points.
And with a teardrop like that, he's going to make a lot of people cry this year.
You betcha. Look at these guys going. Ball wide open. They're getting wide open shots, but they are not hit. And Maccabi Haifa is unconscious from beyond the arc. Hit 70% of their threes in the first quarter. Up high.
Oh.
No good there.
Yes.
And that's O'Bannon getting into the mix. Everybody having fun for Haifa. The lead 28 points. Nobody saw this coming, Simi.
Yeah, but you got to have it at the end of the quarter, at the end of the half. You can't let them back in the game. I've been there before.
Ball thought about it. Wyatt wide open, and they keep missing. They're just giving him wide open shots.
And this kid keeps shooting. And he doesn't understand that he's missed like 8 of them.
There's O'Bannon. Ben Shimol. Haifa showing you their depth. Ben Shimol with the dish to Killingsworth, but it got out of his hands.
He had him. He had him for a dunk. 2 minutes.
Yango. Al-Bisi. Out to ball. Down to Noel. They're playing there without their top scorers, Somerville and Hamilton, and not a lot of offense to go around. The misses continue to pile up for Paris. Another chance there, and Robert Rothberg rejected
What a block! Nothing.
Oh my goodness.
There.
Paris just looking ugly so far. Ben Shimol back to Marco with the finish.
Play.
And guess
Beautiful
what,
basketball.
A 30-point lead for Haifa.
122 to the half.
Haifa running
up by 30.
Paris Levallois out of Nesher Arena. 52-22. They're giving them the shot. They just can't connect. Wyatt.
Oh!
That time they called the foul on Robert Rothberg.
You know, watching this game, Aaron, I'm trying to figure out what Coach Mark Duprez is thinking about, or if he's thinking at all. He hasn't made changes. He hasn't changed defenses.
And his team's getting their butts kicked. And Wyatt can't hit the barn, let alone the broadside of it. This guy is 0 for whatever.
0 for. 0 for the game.
And he banked that
backboard. Oh my.
I didn't hear him call that one, Simi. Frank Robinson back in the game.
Throw Rothbard.
So Haifa going small. But you know what? After that rejection that we saw before by Frank Robinson, boy's got hops. He can get up there. Darius Somerville, rather Marcellus Somerville, about to check into the game.
Oh, come on. Make the shot.
Marco cleans it
Foul.
up, and he gets fouled.
Sitting in front of me is Marcellus Somerville out of Bradley.
You know who else went to Bradley? Hersey Hawkins.
Hersey Hawkins, yeah.
All-time leading scorer at that university.
Yeah.
Had a great career with the 76ers.
David Thirdkill, who I brought to Israel 100 years ago.
.45 seconds to go in this first half, which has been all Maccabi Haifa. Maccabi Haifa wearing those uniforms with the English writing on the back. And look at Marco Killingsworth, all-around player.
And Haifa has a foul to give. There are 45 seconds left. They don't have to give it early.
The leading scorer for Haifa in that game in Paris was Marco Killingsworth with 13 points. And tonight, you're going to have a handful of players over that already. You've got Landesberg, Lowe, Robinson already in double figures. And Marco's going to get there. You know he's Mr. Double-Double.
Wow, that's two bad foul shots. That's a shame.
They're going down to Lamont Hamilton.
And he missed a chippy.
He's been their sure thing, and he's not connecting that either, coming off a 22-point performance in Paris.
Coach pulled him out and didn't put him back in.
Ben Chimol.
Walked. They didn't call it, but he walked.
Shot clock down to 5. Nice move.
Nice.
Finishes with the left hand.
And then 10 seconds. Now they should make the foul. Now they should make the foul.
Ball puts it up and gets the 3. They didn't
What'd
hear
I
you.
tell you?
I heard you. They didn't hear you. 0.4 seconds to go. And O'Bannon saying he didn't hear the call to commit that foul. So Jamal Ball hits the three-pointer, and that might have been their first semi.
That's a shame because they should have made the foul with 3 or 4 seconds left to the half and have him take it out on the side.
So Haifa's going to try to come up with something. We'll stay with you because we only have...
Actually, it can only be a catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Because there are 4/10 of a second left, he can catch and shoot. It doesn't have to be a tip. But
So
they have to touch the ball.
We've had ourselves an entertaining first half here, 54-26. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after the timeout. So Haifa's going to try to come up with something here with 4/10 of a second.
You know, to tell you the truth, with this lead, I wouldn't try anything. I'd just throw a short pass and a heave because you don't want to turn the ball over and have them take it out under the basket.
And that's what they're going to do. O'Bannon heaves it.
No basket.
Didn't get it off in time, and that'll do it.
That's
the first
okay.
half, and in this hot, sweaty arena, the only thing hotter than the temperature has been the shooting of Maccabi Haifa.
Yeah, you know, it's an
24-26.
18-point game, but it's only a 5-point lead. You have to understand that. Oh, it's a 28. I'm sorry.
So add 10 points to that.
Yes, my God. I keep forgetting. Wow.
28-point lead. That means they're up by 15. Haifa, an amazing first half.
Wow.
We'll be right back
Unbelievable.
for the second half. And we're underway in the third quarter. A 28-point lead for Haifa, but if you consider it together, 16. They still need to keep that up. And they're looking pretty good going down there to Marco Killingsworth to get things underway here.
It's actually 15 because we have to win by 3. Now it's even more. But we have to win by 13.
And the lead now 30. And the first half roundup, the whole difference. Haifa 7 for 12 from beyond the arc. Paris only 1 out of 11.
Great steal. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Great steal by Robinson. He's an excellent player. He does a lot of little things.
And he's out there now with Derek Lowe. Both of those guys had 12 points in the first half. Look at that move by Bradic. Couldn't come through, but there's Derek Lowe, who was 4 for 4 from three-point land. And there's Ball going coast to coast.
And that's a shame. We got 2 under the bucket, missed it, and we get 2 the other way.
So Lowe and Robinson both had 12. Rothbert and Landesberg both had 8. Marco Killingsworth 6 points. The leading scorers for Paris are Lamont Hamilton with 6 points. Haifa absolutely dominating this game from start to finish.
Foul, ref.
No call there. Somerville picks it up and gives it up to Jamal Ball. Nice little move there to the hole.
Nice. Nice defense. Nice getting back, challenging the shot. Killingsworth did a good job on that.
And it will remain the ball of Paris Levallois as the score is 56-28. Doubling them up by 28 points, 8.5 minutes to go in the third. But you say, Simi, the game's not over.
Not over. You know, it's a game of runs. And it got a defensive rebound. Can't let it happen. That's a long rebound. It could have been a quick break the other way.
Lamont Hamilton. Good double up down there. David Knoll goes all the way.
Nice.
Runs into traffic, no call. Looks like the refs have swallowed their whistles.
No,
to begin
they're letting him play. That, you know, if there are no calls both ways,
yeah,
you know, you can deal with that.
And it has been that way both ways. Physical game to start the second half. Haifa's out there with Landisberg, Robinson, Bradich, Killingsworth, and Lowe. There is Landisberg. The left-handed floater goes, and he's in double figures.
He is sweet.
He's a player.
He's a sweet player. I spoke to the people at Florida State, at Stan Jones, the assistant coach, and Leonard Hamilton, the head coach, about him, and they really, really liked him. He's a really talented young man. People don't really understand that he's 20 years old.
He really is a kid, and like we mentioned before, this summer he was in one of those camps at the Sacramento Kings, got to know Omri Caspi, and he said that one of the main reasons he came to Israel because Omri spoke so highly about his home country. Hamilton recovers, gives it out to Jamal Ball. Let me tell you something, when your name is Ball, you were meant to be a basketball player. You're just born into it.
Nice.
So far, they're not showing a lot of ball, though.
They're keeping him on the perimeter.
Robinson, strong move.
Oh.
Killingsworth with the rebound, puts it down.
These are points that are going to be sorely missed.
Hamilton for three. Got it. He's a big man.
The biggest
6'10".
guy on the team makes the three. Figure that one out.
Hamilton has 9 points. His team needs him badly. Bradich, he's going to go for three. Way off the mark. But Jamal Ball throws the ball and it goes out of bounds.
And that was clearly the Parisians' ball. But the referees are consistent in being inconsistent.
Landsberg gets it, pulls up for the three ball. No good. But it will remain Haifa ball.
No, these guys, Landsberg has to understand they have to play the clock a little bit, not grab it and just throw it up.
And the tip in by Killingsworth.
And that's Robinson making the defense collapse on him, missing the shot that should have gone in anyway, but nobody put a body on Killingsworth.
29-point lead for Haifa. There is Lamont Hamilton.
Three on the shot.
Turn away. Tough shot, and he drills it.
That's a great shot, and there was 2 seconds on the 24-second clock.
And he's in double figures. Shows you why he scored 22 to lead all scorers in the first match between these teams. Going up top.
Wow.
Frank Robinson missed the dunk, but nice look there back door from Marco to Frankie. Marcellus Somerville gets it in there, and Paris getting a little mini run here, trying to chip away at that Haifa lead. With their two big players leading the way, Marcellus Somerville and Lamont Hamilton. Killingsworth, he's in double figures.
That's a big shot. That kills the run.
4 Haifa players in double figures already. A very deep team. And they're going to run 10 deep. There's Somerville, no good. We've seen 9 players from Haifa so far, have yet to see Brett Harvey or Shlomo Mor-Yosef.
Nice.
And there's Killing.
Nice. That's bad defense on the Parisians' part. And that was a beautiful pass and a nice dunk.
Jamal Ball. Nice look there. Hamilton.
Oh.
What a strong move. Missed the dunk, but he's pretty impressive.
He's a big boy.
He's a beast.
He's a big boy, and he doesn't look like he missed the meal. But he can play.
O'Bannon, Rothbard coming in for Bradic and Frank Robinson.
Now you can see Bradic isn't fully back from his injury. He's kind of struggling. Played 5.5 minutes, almost 5.5 minutes this quarter.
And he got the lucky roll there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he has the touch.
Not that time. Rothbard fighting for it.
Nice.
And tips it to Killingsworth.
Nice. You can't teach height.
Robert Rothbard looking very active tonight. A guy who's been in the Israeli league for a few years already. One of those guys who really feels a raw talent.
Nobody really gave him a chance.
Hopefully this year will be his chance. Marco pulls up for the J. No good, but look at Rothbard with the rebound. Misses the putback, but Haifa all over the offensive boards.
Yeah, well.
Ball to Somerville, down to Lamont. Lamont with the move against Rothbard, put it hands up in the air, but gets called for the foul.
You can't give a post-up player the guy who's throwing the ball in a straight angle. You have to make him either move it.
Robert Rothbard played over the years for last year for Netanya, the year before for Larrya. Always at the end of the bench, showed streaks of ability, but really didn't get a lot of minutes. And this year, the coaching staff of Haifa saying that this could be his chance to really shine and show what he's got.
Not just that, he was on the national team this year.
Yeah.
That was very successful. So, you know, this is something that's giving the kid confidence. And he's a nice kid. You know, he just has to beef up a little bit, learn the game.
He's still young, 24 years old, and he actually has 4 nationalities: Israeli, American, Serbian, and Croatian. Or Bosnian, rather.
That's amazing.
Hamilton takes a seat, and he's their best player. You got to wonder.
Not just the best player, he's the only guy that's scoring for them. But maybe he just doesn't have the physical stamina yet, and they're giving him a blow.
4 minutes to go in the third. The lead, 26.
They become static now.
Rothbard, look at him making those moves, fading away. Air ball.
Doing? Pass the ball.
Ball down to Yargo. And Iango gets it in there, and a timeout for Haifa as Elad Hussein sees his lead slip to 24.
And that's basically an 11-point lead.
We'll be right back. We're back. Haifa out there with a pair of guards who were teammates a year ago in Rishon LeZion, Larry O'Bannon and Avi Ben-Shimon.
We're seeing a matchup zone, a 3-2 zone out of the French team.
Low again. Got it. 5 for 5 from beyond the arc.
That's a big one. That's a great shot. It was contested, but it was nice because the ball was moved around.
And that kid is a dead-eye shooter, Simi. 5 for 5 from three-point land. He's there with a pair of players who were in Netanya a year ago and a pair of players from Rishon a year ago. The new look Maccabi Haifa, and they look pretty good as they have a 27-point lead.
And the foul's on Rothbard for holding the... And that's the 4th foul of this period against the Haifa team, against none. And that's Rothbard's 3rd foul.
Somerville.
Somerville's a town in Boston.
Indeed. Not going anywhere, Paris. They need to make a run if they want to make a competition out of this. They do have that 12-point lead to play with, but they are way behind right now, thanks in large part to the ball handling and the dead-eye shooting of Derek Lowe.
But this Haifa team has to learn patience, especially when you're playing against the zone, moving from side to side, have your big men cut, make the zone move, not just...
Nice pass, Ben Shimol.
Nice.
And with that, Robert Rothbard in double figures too.
Yeah.
5 players,
Yeah,
double figures.
Ben Shimol penetrated on a back pick by Killingsworth, and he threw the ball into Rothbard, and it killed the run.
Maccabi Haifa on all cylinders. The rebound there, Rothbard.
That's the insanity what you just saw now. A guy after taking a 30-foot shot that had nothing to do about basketball. Sorry.
Ben Shimol to Larry O'Bannon going baseline, throwing it up. And Larry O'Bannon, he's been quiet tonight, only 4 points, but this is a guy who can heat up in a hurry. He was a leading scorer for Rishon a year ago.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Larry O'Bannon's the type of kid that if somebody else is hot, he'll give him the ball. He doesn't have an ego. He's a very, very good team player, sometimes to a fault.
O'Bannon pulls up for 3, and we just talked about him. We knew we were talking about him, and he delivered.
Yep.
3 ball, Larry O'Bannon.
And that's 32-point lead.
No connection to the other Larry O'Bannon, who's the brother of Ed O'Bannon. Also, they were from UCLA. He's from Louisville.
Could be their cousins.
Yeah, who knows? He's made a name for himself in the Israeli league.
And now Bratic is coming in. Good substitution for Killingsworth. It'll give there's a minute 26 left of the quarter. It'll give Killingsworth a 5-minute blow.
And a nice rotation here for Eilat Hassid, basically going 9 players here that they are getting in there. We've got the starting 5 and distributing the minutes pretty evenly between Landisberg, O'Bannon, Ben Shimol, Yoni Nir, Killingsworth, Rothbard, Bratic, Robinson, and Lowe. Number 12, Wyatt, back in the game. That's Nigel Wyatt, who...
in for Somerville. Nigel Wyatt was the MVP of the Haifa team until...
I know. 0 for 5 performance in the first half.
And you saw something new from the French team. They had a little press.
Look at that move by Rothbard.
Almost.
When he goes down to scoop, is almost at the floor.
No, you can't let him get back into the game.
Aka hanging, can't get the roll.
Knock the ball out.
Wyatt recovers. Noel for 3. No good. They are struggling, man.
Yeah, but we're not getting a defensive rebound.
37 seconds to go in the third. Haifa still in total control. The ball deflected. They call the foul on Lowe, though. How low can you go?
And it's okay. And there are 32 seconds left to the half.
To the third quarter.
Third quarter. I don't know what's going on.
That's okay. We're as rusty as the players.
Kind of hot in the gym.
Been a long time off. Getting back into the swing of things here. A new arena, a new team against the European competition. For the first time, we've had the pleasure of broadcasting to you when they have the English writing on the back of their jerseys, and a berth in the European EuroChallenge League at stake. And right now, it's looking pretty good for Haifa.
Nice.
No! Guys, you're on the same team.
No!
And Noel cleans up the mess.
That's insane.
Bratic, O'Bannon, Ben Shimon.
It's 27.
12 seconds to go. They're going to wait for the final shot here. Ben Shimon. Out to Bradic. Ball off his foot, and now Paris has a chance with David Noel. Nice defense there. Throws it up, no good. And that'll end it. And guess what? We're at the same place we were before. Haifa not giving an inch. 72-45. That's a 27-point lead going into the final quarter.
And it could have been 40.
We'll be right back. 3 quarters are over with 72-45 for Haifa, and they have 5 players in double figures led by Derek Lowe's 15 points, 5 for 5 from 3-point range. Marco Killingsworth has 14, Frank Robinson 12, and Sylvan Landesberg along with Robert Rothbard have 10 each. Lamont Hamilton 14 for Paris, but not much else production on their side.
And it's important not to let them back in the game. Very important. Let's bring it up to 30 instead of down 25.
Albisi loses it. Yargo keeps fighting.
They have no height under the bucket.
Gilarum Yango. I'm sure I mispronounced that, but you know what?
I forgive you.
They're not going to be watching this game anyway, so. Ben Shimol with the cut.
Nice.
And the finish.
Nice. Took him to the hole.
Avi Ben Shimol has 6.
Nice. And
deep in the corner, they bury it.
Yeah.
And that is Larrya, the 20-year-old French youngster. Derek Lowe getting the starting spot tonight, and he has paid off for him, leading a very balanced attack tonight. 4 assists for him as well. Ben Shimol, 7 assists, as we've seen a lot of nice teamwork on this Haifa squad. Killingsworth.
Nice shot.
Gets the
very
check.
important shot.
Killingsworth might have earned his paycheck last year by killing Haifa in their meetings between them. Of course, Netanya getting rid of Haifa in the first round a year ago, denying them that appearance in the Final Four.
Oh, what a bad call. All ball. That's the second time they've had bad calls on O'Bannon.
Second team foul for Haifa.
Landsberg is in the game.
Landesberg in there with Killingsworth, O'Bannon, Bradic, and Ben Shimol. Elad Hassin, the rookie head coach, only 30 years old, the youngest in the league, giving you a lot of different matchups.
Okay.
Larrya pulls up.
Rebound.
And a rebound, Marco.
Now it's important to get a good offense, kill the clock, and get a good shot inside. Not everything has to be a jump shot.
Got it. Ben Shimol gets it, bounces, everything bouncing
Nice
Haifa's way, and there's Killingsworth, who can't get the gimme.
Nice pass, though.
Ben Shimol, 7 assists already, and he wants some more. Rebound O'Bannon. Killingsworth all the way, and foul.
Now he has to make the foul shots. Substitution.
Frank Robinson
in for Bradic.
Sasha Bradic.
That's a good substitution. You know, Bradic just isn't in basketball shape. These are important foul shots.
Frank Robinson coming over to say hello to us over here.
Frank, how
in
you
the broadcast booth.
Frank, how you doing?
Great game so far.
How's your jump shot?
And he's in a pretty good mood because he's chatting with us during a game, Semi. So I should tell you how they're doing. Up by 26.
Elad has told me he's a good Coach Hassin has told me that he's a great kid.
From Cal Fullerton.
Very good athlete.
And he has 12 points.
It's 28.
Coming off the bench. Haifa with 7.5 minutes to go before perhaps qualifying for the EuroChallenge. And it's looking pretty good right now. Marco Killingsworth with the rebound. Avi Ben Shimol's got all the time in the world.
Run an offense. Run an offense. Take some time off the clock, but run your offense. Don't just hold the ball. There he is, all by
Wide
himself.
open. Robinson drills
Money.
it. That's what we're talking about. There he goes. And he pointed to us, Emmy. We gave him good luck charm there. Drills a 3. He's got 15.
I asked him if he found his jump shot.
And there's his answer.
And there's his answer,
He lets his game do the talking.
Yeah, ball don't lie. Nice hustle.
And Haifa up by 31 points. An offensive explosion tonight.
It's
And
7
fans
minutes to
loving
go.
it.
Yep. Fans singing. I'm singing.
Albisi, tough shot, air ball.
I'm singing. You want me to sing for you? That ought to kill the crowd. Time out.
The fat lady sings.
I'm the fat man. Time out.
We'll
for
be
the
right
Parisian
back.
team. But
Less than 7 minutes before Haifa qualifies for EuroChallenge
and here's
2010.
Here's the zone press.
It's been more than a decade since they've been in European competition, and very close right now. Bucket and the foul. Wyatt gets the hoop.
And that's the problem when you're getting pressed, giving up the ball, go from side to side, then get the angle from the middle. .29 now.
No foul trouble for anybody. The only player who has 3 on either team is Robert Rothberg, who's sitting on the bench right now. And there is Larry O'Bannon going up to get that rebound. Haifa looking mighty impressive tonight in their debut here at Nesher.
And they're pressing, and they're going to hit people, and they're in their 1-2-2 zone or 3-2 zone. They're going to force the Haifa team to shoot from the outside.
O'Bannon comes up a little short. Robinson with the rebound.
Robinson.
No, it's Landisberg. I'm sorry.
Landisberg, okay.
He's got 12 now. Yango.
Pretty nice. No.
Frank
Here it
with the
comes.
spin, throws down the hammer.
Yes,
Frank
yes.
Robinson.
Yes.
That's my boy.
Frank Robinson was a great baseball player.
Indeed. Third baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. No good.
That was Brooks Robinson. Still, you got to run your offense. There it is.
O'Bannon for 3.
Money.
Haifa on fire. They are not missing beyond the arc. Their percentage is absolutely insane.
It's wide open, and these guys are shooters.
Well, after 3 quarters, Haifa 9 out of 16 from 3.
And they're wide open.
Paris only 2 for 17.
Oh! O'Bannon says, get that out of here.
Not in my house, he says. Paris, perhaps a last chance. They bring in Hamilton and Somerville. Try and get something going here. And Noel, their 3 top scorers. Why were they sitting on the bench until now? I do not know. But this is it for them. Last chance. They're down by 36 points. 5 minutes to go in this one. Yoni Neer sat a long time on the bench.
That's a third-team foul with 5 minutes to go in the game. Got to play that tough defense. No cheap baskets. Make them play the perimeter. Make them, and then you got to rebound.
Hamilton out to Somerville. Pulls up for the J.
You know, okay, I'll accept that because, you know, they played good basketball on that. Sometimes you get scored on. But they had to move the ball. They moved it very well.
Ben Chumol, good job protecting the ball. Robinson, he's got 17 points to lead all scorers right now. He wants some more. 3 ball, no good.
Got some time on the clock.
Ball will remain for Paris Levallois.
And ball is coming back in, and so is Lowe. I don't know who's Lowe coming in for. So coming in for
Frank
Robinson.
Robinson.
Yeah, Coach Hassan wants another ball handler. No.
The jumper from the corner there by Noel.
Can't give that up so easily.
4 minutes to go. Haifa's already got 88 points. Not used to that kind of offensive production, and we're already seeing the Elad Hassan Haifa team, very different from the Avi Ashkenazi team, focused on defense. This team is an offensive powerhouse.
Yeah, and they also, well, a lot of it came from the defense, if you remember. They held them to 12 points in the first quarter and 14 points in the second, and here it comes.
Scoop up and under, no good, O'Bannon. There's Jimmy Ball. Ball going baseline.
There you go.
3 on 1.
No.
Landisberg all the way. Fouls.
And that's an important thing. You know, the Parisian team had a shot under the basket. They missed it, and all of a sudden it's a 3-on-1 break.
I got to tell you, very quietly, he's had an impressive game. Avi Ben Shimol running the offense.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And one of the advantages that Avi has is, you know, he's a point guard, and he's not a small point guard.
He's about like 6'3", 6'4".
6'4", 6'5", even.
Yeah.
So he looks over the defense. And now we got Robinson coming in for O'Bannon. You know, 3.5 minutes.
This collection of guards that Elad Hassan put together, very impressive. You got Lowe, you got Ben Shimol, you got Robinson, you got Landisberg, and O'Bannon. Between those guys, a lot of offensive firepower. Robinson with the rebound.
I love the way this kid gets up there. He's tough as nails. And he's not that big. He's only about 6'3", but he plays 6'100". Oh, no. 3:05, Aaron.
3:05 to go.
And I'm going to start singing, Sue.
And you know what that means.
The fat lady's going to sing. I'm going to put on my dress and I'm going to start singing.
When the fat man sings, the game is over here in Haifa.
I'm afraid
Yoni Nir.
I'm afraid I'll scare the crowd.
Hamilton pulls up for 3.
And
we
they
have
got
a Paris player down on the ground.
Yeah, you got to clean that area up. The people are sweating. You know, in Nesher, they never heard of air conditioner. It's something, you know, that there's air and there's conditioning, so they brought all the conditioning here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that new and improved Romema Arena.
Yes, that should be a 5,000-seat arena, air conditioning.
And right now, our emphasis is on air conditioning.
Yeah, well, you know, let me tell you something.
It's hot.
I enjoyed this game.
Yeah.
I thought Haifa played a great game.
They did, and really interesting to see. We've gotten used to seeing them in the last couple of years under Avi Ashkenazi, very defensive-minded team. Got to the Final Four the first year. Last year, bowed out in the first round. And this team has a different feel to it. Simply.
Well, you know, I account that the first year they had Perkins and you know, and Davon, so it was 2 guys. Last year they had Davon and so it was 2 guys. Now you got a lot more guys.
Yeah.
You got, you know.
You don't necessarily have your go-to guy like Davon, not the number 1 player, but really a group
but
of
you
5, 6 players.
But you do, in a way you have Killingsworth as your inside guy who's going to get you those points, you know. But the whole thing is you got 5 or 6 Americans, and Bradic, who isn't that good now because he's been hurt. You know, that's a whole different thing.
2:15 to go, and Haifa still's got 30-point lead and comfortably cruising. We thought this was going to be a tough game, and they made it look easy, Haifa, tonight with their shooting. Yoni Nir, one of the only people who hasn't really produced tonight, hasn't gotten on the scoring board yet. But Lowe, Robinson, Landisberg, Ben Shimol, all impressive performances. And that backcourt of Maccabi Haifa just completely outplaying the Paris team.
And another thing, you know, with all the praise to Hideo Kushikaro, Landsberger is a much better player. Kushikaro was there, you know, Israeli player there in front, you know, and he has nothing, you know, I mean.
And Landesberg's considered an Israeli. He's like the best Israeli in the league, probably.
That's right. And also you have to understand that the big guy, Rothberg, is playing a great game.
And so Haifa giving really their coach a lot of options. I mean, technically, they could come out there in league play with Landesberg, with Rothberg, and 3 foreigners, and that's a killer 5 players out there.
Yes, and when Glazer comes back, because he's a young Jewish kid that played for Norm Sendik at Arizona State University.
And if you see over here, number 8 now, Brett Harvey in the game, making his first appearance. A little bit of garbage time, but that's number 8. Brett Harvey, another one of the players Elad has seen signed before the season. Oh. Look at the recovery there by Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson 6'3", and that guy.
And another rejection. A block party for Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson, my man.
How do you like that? So, of course, reminding you all, this is our first game of the year in the European qualifier. The regular season, stay tuned. We begin our regular broadcast next week.
Sunday night.
Sunday night on the road against Toulon. Sasha Bradic and Yoni Nir playing against their former team. They'll meet Amit Ben David there, the former Maccabi Haifa player.
And not just that, you got Danny Franco here sitting in the stands scouting the team.
And anybody scouting it there has got to be pretty impressed with the performance they've seen tonight by this Maccabi Haifa team. A minute to go, up by 27 points, and they are going to cruise into the EuroChallenge tournament. And they'll be getting very good use out of these uniforms here with that English writing on their back. Brett Harvey looking for a shot. Front rim, the tip-in doesn't go. But Haifa
40 seconds.
With a very, very, very impressive debut performance here. The fans giving them a standing ovation right now as this game coming to a close in a new arena with a new head coach, with a new team. They're headed to Europe, Simi.
And Brett Harvey played at Loyola Marymount in Maryland.
And you can hear the fans going at it.
Yeah.
They've got their money's worth tonight.
Yeah, it's like going to a concert. It was a great game. And we've got a young man ready to come in.
Oh, Mor Yosef. Look at that. Mor Joseph, as it says in the back of his shirt.
Yep.
The guy who really is at the end of the bench for Haifa and rarely sees much minutes. Tonight he gets a chance. There he is. Shlomo Mor Yosef, number 14. Every single one of the 11 players on the Haifa roster making an appearance tonight. Mor Yosef, a youngster, only 18 years old actually. Can you believe that? He was born in 1992, Semi.
I was 50 then.
I was old then.
And it's only the 3rd team foul against and you know, you see Noel Landesberg, you see North Carolina against Virginia.
Harvey, nice pass to Rothberg. Can't get it. Tries again. If at first you don't try again. He can't get it through there. Noel passes down low. That's garbage time. 6 seconds to go. But that's all she wrote. It'll end a 23-point victory for Haifa. 89-66. An impressive debut for Maccabi Haifa as they progress to the EuroChallenge tournament. And heading with good form into the opener on Sunday against Holon Simi. Your thoughts this evening?
This has to be a big boost. Nobody thought it was going to happen because 12 is a lot of points, especially since they were down 23. They did a lot of work in the last 2 weeks, including getting blown out by the Nets in New Jersey, but they did a great job. You have to give Elad Hassan and Ami Nawi, his assistant coach, a lot of credit. And you know something? It's going to be an interesting season. Got a lot of athleticism, got a lot of good players on the team. It's a pleasure to watch.
You got yourself a little sneak peek at this 2010-2011 Haifa squad tonight. The game was never in doubt. They blitzed Paris from the get-go. going into the Euro Challenge, and we'll be keeping tabs on that all season long. Let's take a look ahead, Simi, to Sunday. The beginning of the season, the official beginning of our broadcast season. Haifa heads to Holon. Your buddy Danny Franco, thoughts about that game?
You know, they started real late. You know, they didn't have a team. They have some pretty good Israeli players. They have Ben David, and they have the guy who played for Maccabi Tel Aviv, the big guy.
Jamie Arnold.
Jamie Arnold.
Yeah.
They got the point guard.
So lots of depth there in Holon as well.
4 good players, and they only have 3 Americans.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any money.
Well, let's give you a little bit of the breakdown statistics for this game so far. Haifa, a very balanced attack. Marco Killingsworth, 18 points and 11 rebounds. Frank Robinson, 17 points. 15 points for Derek Lowe on those 5 3-pointers. 13 for Sylvan Landesberg, and 10 for Robert Rothbart. Avi Ben Shimol, 6 points, 9 assists. A very, very balanced,
very good
impressive game for Maccabi Haifa. That was our broadcast for this evening. We got a great start to this season. Simi and I will be seeing you on Sunday as we begin our official season. Haifa and Holon, the Israeli Super League, gets underway. On behalf of Simi Rieger, I'm Aaron Heller saying good night.
Should I start singing?
From Nesher, go ahead.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Love
See you on
all.
Sunday.